All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today, UFC President Dana White went live with some solid fight announcements. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into it, Matt. So I remember when the announcements of the announcements occurred. I think it was either on Twitter or Instagram, and it said Dana White will be going live later today to talk about the boxing undercard of Canelo and all that. And the second I seen boxing, I was just like, who cares? And I hate saying that. I don't know why I don't care about boxing. They're very talented. You know, the sweet science, I get all that. Maybe I just, because I watch MMA, I see boxing as a limited form of combat. And that's the thing. Well, there's rules in MMA too. It's not technically unlimited. I get that, but I don't know. It is what it is. Like, when I first got into MMA, I remember the second it touched the ground, I was like, you know, I hated it. But then once you start to appreciate it and learn it more, and then it's just like, you start to love it. And then, you know, obviously with elbows and kicks and all that. And that's the thing. I wish I appreciated boxing. I just don't. I'm sorry. It is what it is. But yeah, aside from that tangent. Okay, so. All right, so they're going back to Vancouver. October 18th, tickets go on sale tomorrow. Main event, 5-round fight between middleweight contenders, Reinier and Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Now, I love this fight. 100% love this fight. Because I think it just makes sense, because I know they were trying to be like, oh, Chimaev wants to return in October. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get he kind of wants to. Maybe he's trying to make up for the inactivity, but that being said, you're a champion now. You can't just go turn around like next week or whatever. Obviously, it's not next week, but you know what I'm saying. Like, there has to be a full build up and all that. So it is what it is. It's all logistics, and that's the thing. Obviously, when you get higher up in the rankings, it's harder to book fights, and a lot of these guys get ducked, especially like all these wrestle heavy styles that just want to get to the title, which I get it. You know, you don't want to risk your spot, but it is what it is. Now, that being said, Fluffy Hernandez versus Reinier. Amazing fight. I think it'll be highly competitive. And I remember when they were trying to go with either one of these guys to get the title fight with Chimaev on October. For some reason, I was just like, please don't give it to Reinier. And I don't know what it is. Because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, give it to Reinier. It'll be an amazing grappling fight. I don't think it'll be much of a grappling fight, to be honest with you. I think Chimaev sees Reinier as kind of like a Gerald Meerschaert. Obviously not exactly the same, but it's just like, okay, he's decent on the ground. Let's just stay on the feet. And I think Reinier is just, I don't know if clumsy is the right word, but his striking is not like pinpoint, precise, like snappy. You know what I mean? I don't know what the right adjective is, but I just feel like Chimaev's like, I could go to the ground with this guy and make it exhausting, but I think I'm just going to knock him out. He doesn't seem that coordinated on the feet, especially in the boxing. Like, if Whitaker can drop you like that, I think Chimaev can. And I get Chimaev is probably not as great of a striker as like dynamically as Whitaker, but you know, he has the power, and I just think Chimaev would put him away. For some reason, if either of the two got the fight, I would have rather see Hernandez. I don't know why. Maybe it's just like the factor, like I was talking to before. That's all I can describe it as. Like, I just feel like he's more aggressive. And that's the thing too. Like, Anthony Hernandez is not invincible on the feet by any means, and his grappling will probably get obviously get matched by Chimaev. So it is what it is. But yeah, as far as these two together, early prediction, I wanted to say Anthony Hernandez, but then seeing how he was getting tuned up, especially by the knees and the clinch, I don't remember who it was, but it was one of the highlights. And yeah, I just think this is winnable for both guys. Excellent booking, but the only thing I don't like about this, and it's kind of like bittersweet because I also go against my point at the same time, I don't love the timing, because you got Dricus Caio and Nasruddin Imavov. That's happening in September. And then this one, I think he said October 18th, right? So not too far away. And I get what the UFC is trying to do. It's just like, okay, you four, whichever one wants the title shot, show me. Show me you want the title shot. Show me you deserve the title shot. And I get that, 100%. However, the fact that, what if both fights are amazing and both fighters have amazing performances and flatline either a KO or a vicious submission? One of them's going to have to sit out for a while, man, because Chimaev, you know, I get he says he wants to be active, but I'll believe it when I see it. You know what I'm saying? So let's say, for example, Chimaev wants to return realistically by the end of this year. And let's say, for example, for argument's sake, Imavov wins. I think Imavov will beat Caio. If he gets the title shot, right, the winner of Hernandez versus de Ridder is going to have to wait out for a long time. Because I don't think either one, after they win this one, are going to be like, yeah, give me another one. You know, so it's tough because as much as it is great to see both of them active at the same time and two contender fights happening, I'd rather them be staggered so that, let's say you have the Reinier de Ridder and Fluffy Hernandez maybe in like a November, right? And then so they're ready to go. Let's say Chimaev returns in December, right? You can even put it in the same card as November, right? And then have Imavov fight Chimaev and then have the winner of Hernandez and de Ridder kind of on the right timeline when it comes to the winner of the championship fight between Imavov and Chimaev. So, yeah, that being said, someone's going to have to wait out. Unless they have a shitty performance and Dana White's like, the kid's going to have to fight again. But, yeah, that being said, great fight. Just, I question the timing. You know, it is what it is. No. Yeah, and then Dana White just goes on and he's like, he loves how, you know, active he is. Well, at least both of these guys are. 8-fight win streak for Fluffy, blah, 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 blah. And then he talks about, like, yeah. So he references, like, yeah, we're going to have to see which one of these two fights give us the best performance, and then we'll go from there. Which is fair, but like I said, it's just I don't want either guy to be stalled out in their career. Especially we see situations like fucking Arman Sarukian. So, you know, I'm good on the whole stalling bit. All right. Now, the next fight announcement is number 7th ranked Chito Vera versus 10 ranked Zahabi. Now, I'll be honest, I do not love this fight at all. It's not a bad fight by any means, and that's the thing. Zahabi looked, you know, fairly decent against Jose Aldo. It's just, I don't know. I feel like with Chito, especially, he hasn't been doing great as of lately. I think you should give him a high stakes fight. Whereas like Aiemann Zahabi, you know, it's a decent fight for sure. But I thought they would have went with maybe like a cejudo versus Chito Vera. You know, I think that one presents more of like at least a funny build-up. And that's the thing. I don't think Chito Vera is going to be champion by any means. So give him these fun fights. Whereas like Aiemann Zahabi, what is he, like 38 or something like that? So how far is he realistically going in the sport? So it is what it is. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to just clean up the rest of the lower rankings. You know, let's say if Chito loses, then he's probably going to be damn near unranked. But I don't know. It is what it is. Like, I'm sure it'll be a great fight. Like I said, I'd rather Chito Vera with more of a name, at least an upcoming name that isn't like, you know, prehistoric. So it is what it is. You know, great for Aiemann Zahabi. But yeah, as far as the fight itself, decent, but I would have preferred different people. It is what it is. Now, the next fight. Kevin Holland versus Mike Mallot. Now, in hindsight, before the D-Rod fight, let's say the D-Rod fight never happened. I would have said easy for Kevin Holland. Easy win because Mike Mallot, I think he got beat by Neil Magny, right? If Neil Magny's beating you, then you know what I mean? Like, I don't see you as like an upcoming top 10 prospect by any means. However, after Kevin Holland went like tooth and nail with D-Rod on the feet, and like Kevin Holland was damn near almost unconscious, that really was like eye-opening for me because that's the thing. Obviously, D-Rod is really well-rounded. Well, I don't say well-rounded, but like he's a decent striker. You know, like a decent striker. We'll give him that. For him to tune up Kevin Holland, because that's the thing, Kevin Holland is not a world beater, right? He's decent on the feet, and rarely ever does he get, you know, that intensely hurt. And I was just watching that fight, I was like, holy shit, like I was mind blown, man. So that being said, after that performance, I really don't know if Kevin Holland wins against Mike Mallot, especially. It is welterweight, so it is what it is. He does decent in welterweight, but that being said, he life and death with D-Rod, so it's a decent fight for sure. I get Kevin Holland keeps being active, making that money, and kudos to him. You know how I feel about Kevin Holland. Ever since the Rampage thing, I'll never root for him ever again and for the rest of his life. But yeah, decent fight. I think Mike Mallot can definitely get it done. and especially in his hometown. Well, not hometown, but home country of Canada. And yeah, decent fight for sure. Now that the D-Raw performance, I don't know how it goes, but yeah, great fight nonetheless. And then the next one. Now this one, oh fuck, might be the biggest fight announcement this year. Number 2 ranked Manon Farrow versus number 5 ranked Jasmine Jasdivius. Holy fuck! No, I'm just kidding. No, it is what it is. You know, I'm sure they're great fighters, but you know what I mean? It is what it is. Now, that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and like and subscribe, and peace. See you on the next one.